Well, somehow I lost internet and connection, therefore there might be more than one video. I assume that there will be more than one video. I'm hoping it sticks and it comes up and I can save it. Just as a recap, in case you're getting this one, we had and I'm using the Sherwood Oracle. I want to make sure I said it right. We have 15. The Sheriff of Nottingham is where we started on our journey. And it's basically saying that there's a shrewd man. Of course, he's considered evil, but he's also very much like a justice and ruler and has abilities to see the blankness of what needs to go on, and certainly to see like the shadows. So that talks about um basically that there's gaps, there's things that we might regret or that aren't there. And like those are the places that we might need to work on or to protect ourselves. A lot of it also had to do with trust. Don't trust anyone that you may not know that well. And I would also say make sure you're really like being truthful to yourself. Okay. So this it's a recap. So I'm not going to do all of the folklore that goes with it. With the second card, it was 35, the way through the wood. So for that, this is like our path that is going forward. It asks to take, this is us. We are going through this. We are a seeker, and we are. It tells you how to pull the next card that would come with it and how we're going. And our next card is David of Doncaster. This is where the last one ended. He is number 13. A lot of people are very into numerology. I haven't learned it all yet. There's a lot to learn of everything. So each one of these, since this is the second one, comes with like a quote from an actual, folklore ballad or story. So this one says, with that step forth, the brave young man, David of Doncaster, Master, he said, be ruled by me, from the greenwood will not stir. And that's Robin Hood and the Golden Arrow. This character appears in the Ballad of Robin Hood and the Golden Arrow, and he is later named as a young wrestler saved by an angry mob Sir Richard at the Lee. The guest of Robin Hood, um, as his name that's in the guest of Robin Hood. Sorry, that's like the name of the ballad. Um, as his name implies, he was from the town of Doncaster, and okay, he was from the oh my gosh, my last one just went through. You know how that is, and everything that pops up. I don't know if that's ever important, but if you have a lot of interruptions, please let me know if that like was a part of like the reading and like there's all these interruptions and like is that your energy? I feel like there's a lot of interruptions all the time right now. Um, so he had an ability of a wrestler. And ballad reference, he warns Robin the sheriff is planning to capture him, where he appears at the archery contest. And Will Stuckley, otherwise known as Will Scarlet, is captured and about to be hung. It is David who alerts Robin so he can be rescued. His ability as a wrestler was picked up by American author Howard Powell, who made David a character in his early novel, The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood. His appearance in the Sherwood Oracle, this oracle, though from his late source, spotlights his strength and ability to wrestle with problems. Problems. He is strong and quick-witted and has the gift of keeping a weather eye out for danger. This makes him a very able companion, and as a challenger, he requires us to look more deeply at our current situations. Now, with our companion and challengers, I have a feeling I'm even showing it wrong. Sorry, man. Um, I think it's probably if it gets inverted, but I think like there are two sides to everything, and I just feel like these need to be read as a whole. Like these are our challengers and they're our companions, because some of our companions teach us such things about ourselves. We get so angry because it hit our shadows. And then we learn and we heal, and they learn and heal. And okay, so we're both. The strength, keywords are strength, keenness, alertness, watchfulness, determination, the ability to wrestle with issues. And I think a lot of us are doing that right now. Now, as a companion, it says, with me at your side, you won't miss anything. I'll guide you where you need to go, watch out for you, and woe to anyone who threatens you, because I'll wrestle them to the ground in a heartbeat. Whatever you seek, there's always a way, and I can help you find it. Whether on a clear path or a tangled ride, I'm there to show you the best way forward with the fewest pitfalls, and I can teach you how to grapple with problems until they give way and you find your truth. And it's giving way and finding the truth. Notice the word giving way. We have to relax and give it up, throw it out. Those problems aren't always seen. Like you don't see it within yourself. Some of these actions are just like, oh, I always do that. Oh, I'm just scared of those things. But we don't ever, first, we don't ever figure out why. And sometimes we never figure out why we have these reactions or we have these limiting beliefs. But a lot of times we do. And like if we recognize, oh, I have self-doubt, you can try to like see where it comes from. And if you can't find a place where it comes from, where does it come from within you? Like what are you not feeling? Like what don't you have? Because it probably means that if you have self-doubt, you might need somebody to give you a pat on the back. And you're not supposed to like I know there's all this talk about like, well, you have to like do it yourself, right? You have to love yourself first. I am a very firm believer. Sometimes you need to be hugged and said, you are worthwhile. You are good enough. I am going to hold you. You are perfect the way you are. And if you hear that enough, you believe it. So I'm not one of those, you have to find yourself first. Now, do you have to find yourself? Absolutely. But sometimes we all need help. Um, so we have to wrestle with the issues and have other people wrestle with the issues. And then we chat with that other friend and said, blah, blah, blah. Eventually you come back to yourself and you have to relax about it and go, this is what it is. This is why. And this is my plan to make it dot, dot, dot. Okay. Better, not better, whatever you want to call it. As a challenger, I know all about challenges. I'll test you all the way. I'll make you look backwards, sideways, up and down. I'll take you to the tops of the trees and show you what's happening on every side. If you accept my challenges, I'll give you the knowledge to overcome yours. The forest is waiting. Tree bathing. Okay? Every time I go to West Virginia, and I'm actually trying to have my parents have me live there a little bit. I go there and I see the trees and I just feel, like alive. And I think I live in such an urban setting right now that it's just like it's so different. I think even West Virginia is of course becoming urban um in certain areas, but like there is forest waiting. So there is excitement for us. It doesn't have to be a literal forest, though tree bathing really came to my mind as something that might be quite healing for you. It is healing for me. That's why I'm like, the other thing is like there's gonna be sunflower fields, and I always go through the sunflower fields. I love it. A blessing. I have known what it means to be an outcast and vilified. If this comes to you in any form, be it at home or in your place of work, remember that nothing lasts forever. And that solutions may be sought from which you can learn more than you realize. Every rejection has its reasons. Seek these whether you feel inclined to or not. Take this as my blessing to you. Okay. The tree is larch, Larch. It's considered having powerful attractive energy, particularly in driving off dark spirits hungry otherworld entities. And then there's like two more. There's a lot more that I could read. I'm sorry, not this time. All right, our next card is number 4, Will Scarlet. Will Scarlet. I always like Will Scarlet. He clothes himself in scarlet red. His men were all in green. A finer show throughout the world, and no place could be seen. The Ballad of Robin Hood and Little John. Little is known about the origins of the outlaw, known variously as Will Scarlet, Shacklock, Shattuck, Sharlock, etc. And they're all different spellings. And that's what I mean throughout time. These words have, names and words have changed. It's incredibly interesting. He is viewed as the first among the merry men after Little John, and he appears in many of the ballads. In one version of the story, Robin met Scarlet as he walked alone and like a man forlorn, because a maid to whom he was all right. I don't know what the word is, but I think he was a fiance. Only it's a verb, was taken from him by the violence of her friends and given to another who's old and wealthy. Whereupon Robin, understanding when the marriage day should be, came to the church as an itinerant harper, and had his own company not far, took the bride by force from him who would have married her, and caused the priest to wed her and Scarlet together. Scandalous. Others have identified him with a medieval knight named Gamwell, who may have been Robin's cousin, and reappears as young Gamwell in the Sherwood Oracle. This is a far cry from the rough, hot-tempered outlaw of Sherwood, but there is evidence to suggest that Scarlet may have been of noble descent, as was Robin himself. Perhaps there was once more a fully fleshed out story attached to him under the name of Gamwell. Whatever the truth, Scarlet's impulsive nature and deep loyalty to Robin and the merry men make him a potentially exciting companion along the way. Look for him in stressful times. Excuse me, I'm really getting digested. And be prepared to learn from his determined approach to life. Beware of his hot-tempered and impatient manner. However, do not let him pull you deeper into difficult situations. So just don't keep going and going and going and get too wound up. The keywords: determination, quick wits, tireless energy, impatience, attention, attentiveness, honesty, and faithfulness. As a companion, I'll take you where you dare not go, strengthen your resolve, and help your muster to courage at look things that not fully understood. Though I may seem quick to act, I am also thoughtful of those who might care, and seldom approach issues without forethought. So I think we really are being asked to look at all of the issues of the cards that we've gone before that was sort of like the inner truth, but like give others also a forethought. So don't like I spout stuff on Facebook, and I probably shouldn't at times, about, uh people. We'll say people, be very general. And perhaps that is a shadow. Uh Come with me at your side if you need to express doubt, uncertainty, or when going gets too rough for you to see what lies ahead. And it's sort of like what all of us have to do. I really feel we all have to bind together, hold our truth, and then have a collective truth, like a real truth, not like one that's driven by greed or what I see as hubris, one that starts with humility and puts the other person first. Now, yes, we have to see to ourselves, but like that's not what I'm saying exactly. I'm not saying don't it's not being selfish to take care of yourself and to get what you need. But perhaps we don't have to all be on a pedestal. If we're all, on the same level, holding hands together, we're kind of equals, right? And a lot of our problems we can share with each other because we all are going through the same problems, or have. It's sort of like at different times. So sharing our problems and sharing our beliefs and sharing everything, I think, is probably a way of finding peace. As a challenger, I will expect you to undertake tasks you may feel are beyond you. I may want you to look with clear direction at issues you have long held to be too difficult to face or that seem to have no good outcome. If you're given to running away from the realities that surround you every day, I will challenge you to uncover the ability to face these things and follow the right course of action. Absolutely, right? Isn't that what we need? The blessing is anger and despair and uncomfortable companions are a journey. Remember not to be taken by them to places you do not wish to go. Remember the best moments you've experienced. Remember your own power. Do not be distracted from your road. A blessing to all. And then the tree is hornbeam, Hornbeam. The name of the tree suggests its sinewy qualities, its strength and protectiveness. It's also known as ironwood because of its smooth, hard bark and muscular branches. And our final one from this deck, I'll pause and I'll make sure I have gas and I'll make sure I no spray. Our final one is Little John. Okay, he's like the first of the merry men that we have, closest to Robin Hood. And like in some ways, we can feel like we're the outlaw, and sometimes we can feel like we're the hero. We are Robin Hood. Okay, so like take this as I would say, Little John's like we're their companion, and we are going forth with all these people around us, all the folklore around us, and it's all giving us positive news, but also telling us to go inward. And I think some of that is peace. Though he was called little, his limbs were large, and his stature was 7 foot high. Whenever he came, they quaked at his name, for soon he would make them fly. The Ballad of Robin Hood and Little John, and he has three. I don't know if I put that three. Little John Oak. Little John, aka John Little, is probably best known for all of Robin Hood's men. A giant of a man, described as 7 feet tall in the Ballad of Robin Hood and Little John. His favorite weapon is a quarterstaff, remembered in the famous battle between him and Robin, where the two start out challenging each other but end up best friends. He is first mentioned in the Chronicle, written by John Fordon in 1341, where Robert is hold and Little Johann, their different spellings, are described as wild outlaws living in England. Some authorities would have it that he was Little John Little, Littel, and the reversal of the name was a pun because, but John is always among the first of Robin's followers. He's brave, strong, and eminently resourceful. All his skills with the bow are almost as legendary as Robin's. But the main detail, which is always stressed, is Little John's size, which may or may not have been given rise to his name. Little John has been frequently described as coming from the village of Hathersage in Derbyshire, where he is also said to be buried and where his grave is still to be seen. John remains Robin's faithful friend, supporter in the end. It is he who has buried his leader, hiding the body in the depths of Sherwood. Keywords: strength, determination, boldness, tireless, energy, humor, gentleness, protection. As a companion, I am strength, both outer and inner. With me at your side, you can accomplish any task you undertake. My knowledge of the wood is greater, and I am at home in its depths. My second quality is that of friendship. I am loyal and may serve you as friend or another as friend to you. So I definitely feel like as an ending card, we're going through the journey, we're doing the self-care, and then like and shadow work, whatever you want to call it, therapy. I mean, whatever you need. I'm a therapist. I mean, I'm not lying. Think I've seen therapy since like I was 18. And when before that I needed it and I was denied access to it. A huge fight with my mother about getting help, which at the time was different. I was younger. Uh Mental health has changed quite a bit, but this is a time that we are called to like look at our shadows. In therapy, it's safer sometimes, depending on what your shadows are. If something is traumatic and you're trying to get too deep, sometimes you need somebody that is a professional. Um, just saying. Sometimes these meditations on YouTube, you need more than that. I need more than that. So I'm just putting that out there as a warning because somebody might need to hear it. As a challenger, if you feel weak, I'll challenge you to look inward and find your strength. Do not depend on others, but raise yourself to the true measure of your inner power. Be ready for change, shifts in your life. Banish fear to the smallest part of your mind. Do not walk in your own shadow, but step into the dappled light of the forest. So we start sort of, looking at our inner shadows and we go out bright and strong and ready to face anything. A blessing. Believe in yourself. Your task will be lighter when you do not give them power over you. Hold fast to the way, but remember to bend with the currents of the air. What you seek is often right before you. Blink and you may miss it. Take this blessing with my promise. Very interesting words, isn't it? All right. The tree is oak. And its strength and solidarity of Robin's closest friend is pretty much a long-lived tree. All right, I'm gonna pause real quick and we'll get to the next one. All right, trying again. How to take a break to get the deck, sort of, and then also really nose spray. Hopefully, I'm hearing my, oh my gosh, it's in my throat. All right, I'm just gonna show you the book. It's the Star Tarot. I'm not gonna read everything in this book because I mean it would go on forever. All right. So they have a different take than our usual tarot, just a bit. Like the Six of Cups, depending on how you're looking at it, it's like a happily, sort of like a happy family card. It can be considered a soulmate card. There's so many different things because, like, um, you know, the cups all have different romantic meanings if you're doing a romance reading. All right. I keep like listening to them. I'm like, the Six of Cups, it's such a positive cup. Yeah. Oh, the Two of Cups. That's twin flames. I don't know if I'm even right. But like the Six of Cups, it's so bright and it's meant to go back to childhood. And like I feel like it's like a soulmate card almost. Like that you don't even have to have another person. It can be a part of yourself that is just a completion that we're starting with. If you go with like the Sherwood deck, we're going off sort of, on a journey and then we are leaving, having healed our shadows, going strong. And then we get to the Six of Cups, which is a blissful happiness inner child card. It says that keyword is remembrance, which I usually don't consider. I don't know it as that, but I love the idea of it. So it says a warm breeze caresses your face, and a familiar feeling of warmth and innocence sweeps over you. A sweet memory of your youth makes you smile, bringing happiness to the heart. The Six of Cups blesses you with a remembrance of the innocent child you once were, stirring and awakening your inner child. It brings pleasant memories from the past and the present, bestowing gentleness, inner harmony, simple pleasures, and happiness, but also signals some inner work. And that's the inner work that we're talking about. The key to the Six of Cups is integrating the past into the present. So all the holes and all the different things that, we got snagged on in the journey with the thorns and Sherwood, you know, this is where we can reflect again, but with different eyes. So it is not always with adult eyes that we look in. We're sort of looking at our inner child and how the inner child feels versus just us as adults. It's a gift, reconnects your soul purpose, the awakening of childlike imagination to future possibilities. Let me find like there is a place that I really wanted to read. The Six of Cups opens the chapters of your life, giving you the opportunity to remember who you were and what you did by unveiling events and choices that brought you to the present. This card allows you a moment to take everything in and reflect on who you are now and what you have brought into your life. On a karmic level, it brings insights on your past lives and the awareness of your destiny and dharma. You know, open your intuitiveness to access information from the Akashic record. It all depends on your beliefs. I have to take what you believe and resonate. Okay. Um, I'm a doubter always. I have so many questions and doubts. So I'm not proselytizing, I guess. But again, this is like going into the inner child and, having memories come up. And that's kind of like what we've been talking about with Sherwood is those blanknesses that, we can dive into and see what's missing and then tie ourselves sort of together or weave ourselves together. Right. Our next one is the Eight of Cups. Uh, the keyword phrase is seeking truth and moving on. It signals a time where inner tides of the self are shifting, creating restlessness. Within the self, there's a feeling of imbalance leading to a sense of being lost, trapped, and emotionally overextended. A feeling of depletion or lack of enthusiasm surrounding you. And that is a little bit more of the traditional idea. Uh, the Eight of Cups, I always feel is like that almost there card where you're almost there, but you don't know it. So you're like, you're like digging, like the gold is on the other side, but you don't know how close it is. So you want to give up. And the question is, do you give up? You begin the process of letting go of something, knowing it's time to move on. The Eight of Cup alerts you to feelings deep inside that are beckoning you to journey inward toward a higher level of consciousness. Always inward. All these cards are inward. That's so intriguing because, I just pulled these cards. I didn't know that they're all going to say do shadow work. What if you don't want to go to therapy? What if you don't want to do shadow work? Well, they're calling you to say, at least acknowledge the questions in your life, acknowledge the places where you have regrets, acknowledge, and maybe that's all the work that you need to do. I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. Acceptance. I think it's possible. Not for Kim, but some people. Um, it's accepting change that is beckoning and taking necessary steps towards transition. The gift of this card is cleansed self, emerging to a new plateau of consciousness. Okay, so basically it's like the do-over card. You're almost there. You're about to give up. Maybe you do give up, but then that rainbow's there and you're like, oh, I have to keep going. Then we have the Knight of Swords. Boop, boop, boop. It's a part of intellect. The knight goes in riding, but it's like an intellectual sort of thing. It's not like the might of the same type of might, like or you're striking really hard, like Little John, right? So he's a warrior of intellect. He's a channeler and messenger of the divine source. And this says he's the master of creative and intuitive thinking. So sometimes there is a creative solution, perhaps, to all this inner work that helps us through, or there's a creative, inner work, there's sometimes of differentness that we have to do. We don't all have to do the same journey, and we also can do it our way, and use our gifts to do it. Um, he's a messenger of divine light and truth that slashes through the dark or shadowy confusion. His light breaks through limiting and stuck patterns, opening up the mind and soul to higher realms of thinking, allowing the divine connection to channel energy that heals. Okay. And it is a mental card, you know, and it's not the fastest in the deck of getting through, charging. So this might be a semi slower energy if you take it as it resonates. So it might not be it's immediate. There's not, maybe it needs to be an immediate charge. It can be a slower charge, a journey, a true journey, you know, um, and very much one that is planned out. We have the inverted Six of Pentacles. The keywords are art and giving and receiving. And take this as a question mark because they don't do inversions in this book. They say material success, accomplishments, prosperity. It places you in the position of monetary security. So maybe a job is changing, some type of fortune is coming, a boon is coming. I never like projecting money because it's so fickle, right? But pentacles, this is very much focusing right now on money, but pentacles are about abundance. And there's so many different things that have abundance. Okay. You can have like an abundance of pens or an abundance of friends, or like there's much to it. It places you in a position of monetary security, experiencing abundance. It also brings you inner wealth and spiritual wealth. It's a card that awakens the consciousness of the universal law of giving and receiving. It's share a maternal and inner wealth without judgment or expectation. The gift of the Six of Pentacles is fulfillment in your heart and a cycle of abundance returning to you. It is a gateway card, bringing you to a place of higher awareness, understanding how the cycles of the universe and an individual works together. It presents you with a chance to become a living example of giving and receiving. All right, so it especially emphasizes, oh my gosh, I'm sorry about my nose. When you give and share without condition, attachment, or expectation. I want to say this also. I was having problems. I was listening to a speech. I'm not going to say which one. And there's like such a when people are cheering for someone who I feel is so obviously fake, it hurts me and it hurts listening to falseness. And that's not just like political belief. I feel like it's almost like a false prophet where it goes almost into the spiritual as well. And it hurts me on that level. And like, so like that's where we're like we're questioning, right? I don't know. I don't know what I was going through, like what my end goal was with that. But there's something. So I guess it's like when you give or share with condition, attachment, and expectation. Um, so if you don't do that, you don't have an expectation to receive back. That's sort of when abundance comes. It also, I mean, like it makes the world better, right? You give, and I do think that you receive a lot more. I have, like I give $10 when I can to every homeless person that, approaches me or whatever. But they are very excited at the time. But I feel like the universe, when I'm homeless, has given me like friendships that allowed me to go different places. Um, and thrive, which is amazing that you can thrive in such difficult times and exist because people love you. Our last one is 12, the hanged man. Or excuse me, it's the hanged one here. A lot of people say it's the hanged one. They use the word he, though, too. And the idea is introspection and looking at life in a different way, which is like the traditional way of looking at it. It is also a pause. So in our journey, we of self-healing is what is coming out to be. We might have to pause. And I think it's really to consider how we need to heal, what we need to heal in others. I mean, you can't heal someone in terms of like, I'm just gonna make you this way, now you're this way. But you can help, you can listen. There's ways you can support, even if it's just nodding or liking or holding a hand or whatever, right? So ways to support. So this is like our introspection, both inner and outer. How can we change the world? How can we change ourselves? And do we want to? It's just a different perspective. It also goes to that creativity. Is there a creative way on our path to have it, those gaps change so that we don't have gaps? We have an abundance all the way through. We don't have gaps within our childhood wounding. We don't have gaps. We don't have lacking. But we also don't have bragging. We're not over the top. You can have the money, but you're not like bragging about it. It's like you have the abundance, you give the abundance, and you get the abundance back. An equal take, of love and holding hands is what I get. Okay, so what do they say? Or one last thing. He upside down by the cosmic spiral of the divine. The energy of the cosmic spiral moves to the solar plexus, to the heart chakra, to the third eye, all the way down, to the crown. The hanged one's cap weaves the energy of the subconscious to the conscious. All right. In the traditional imagery, the hanged one's hands are tied behind his back, representing total surrender. In this image, they're at the front in consciousness, prayer, and meditation, thus expressing dedication to his path. And it's felt deeply within his heart and soul. And like the idea is that he's in the watery world of the cosmic womb. That's what's being shown. Okay, beautiful. I think we should, no, I say end on this energy, right? We're pausing, we're reflecting, we're going deep within. That is self care, that is self love, that is loving others, helping others. I mean, like we have it all. It's sort of like this. All right, I don't really like the word, but what is it? The light bringer, light. Like we sort of bear a light bearer, maybe, and we like bear ourselves, like BARE, drop our cloaks and we're almost like naked before each other and offer through our vulnerability our help and ask for help at the same time. Sometimes vulnerability, which is sort of what all these cards are saying if you're not taking it completely internally, if you're asking for help. But vulnerability is how we go on the journey, how we peacefully go together. We say our wants, we say our needs, and we see what comes to us when the other says what their wants and needs are too. And if all of us, sort of do this, there is like a collective healing. So I think it's really interesting that, both decks are talking about our inner shadows and how that we can complete ourselves and do it creatively. We are all on a journey of some sort. We're alive. But where do we want to go? I think that is where we end here. Where do we want to go? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Don't worry about if you don't worry about politicians for a second. Don't worry about war. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years? Now, I don't care where you are in the world, there's politics. If the politics come, they're going to come. Some type of politics, some type is going to come. Like where do you stand? Be your truth, even if your neighbors don't like your truth. Okay. I know with my political leaning, I am left of Democrats. I call myself a Democrat, but I'm so far left, that I'm willing to take my hand to conservatives and hold their hand and tell them vulnerably why I believe what I believe. You can have some of your best discussions that way, dropping down your guard. You do have to know who to trust, though, because people will stab you, and when your guard is down, it can hurt. It does hurt. But that's my take and what I am doing. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Look at part one. It explains in more depth about Sherwood. All right, take care, be well. Oh, I love you all so much. And thank you for all of your support.